Jerry was talking about too. And for me, starting this program here, I had to really think about it. First of all, my name is Popo, and I'm an agriculture research technician up at YK Research Center. I've been there for 29 years. And I started on Kauai in 1987. And back then, I was doing different things over there with corn and eventually taro. And I had the privilege of with Dr. Walker back there on some of his projects as well. And I started getting to breed taro with Dr. Ramon Della Pena in the 80s. And we're doing some, how this happened was we'd be doing some work. And then I lived on the station, and Ramon used to work after hours. So I went one day over and I used to walk around, and he was breeding these taro plants. So to me, what do you do? He said, I'm trying to cross these taros over here. He said, let me try. Go. I said, yeah, we'll try. So I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was doing, so I go over there and try. I said, hey, make sure you must keep track. And the thing went taking. That started the first taro that I had. And then I moved back to over here to Hilo, where I was originally from. And as I started to work at the station, doing different, I started as an animal science, but I did different stuff. And I got into taro. It was great taro again. And they knew that I was able to cross this taro one time. So they came over there one day and they asked me, Popo, would you like to do this breeding program? I said, no, I'm going to do that. And one of the reasons was because I'm Hawaiian myself, and we get our traditions and things. And I was stuck between the rock and a hard place because I knew the scientific aspects of it and also know how valuable the taro plant was to us. So the minister came, you like doom? I said, no, I don't like doom. He came 4 days in a row. Every day I was going, oh no, here he comes. So I looked at him, he's asking me, please do this thing for us. And I said, I think about it. And what I did was, I went out into the community and I asked different kupunas what they thought about hybridization and stuff. People from Kia, Kauai, as well as Maui. And some of them said they seen some of the things that was happening, and they said, yeah, maybe we can give it a try, because of the disease and everything that was coming in. And like Jared was saying too, I think it's with a combination of both, with taro breeding and how we grow our plants. This can be done with spacing them farther apart and this and that, with environmental factors. But anyway, so after talking with them, I was really deciding if I would do or not. Then I seen this documentary, and there were none, where the Hawaiian race won so many thousands, went all the way down to there were none. And when I was in the taro field, I noticed that when the Palauan taro was growing and when the Hawaiian taro was growing, when the blight hit, the Hawaiian taro would go down. But we just, just at that time, I thought that we needed to do something. And so I started, I told him, yeah, I'll go try, I'll give it a try. I said, but I don't like all this other stuff, of what's going on with the taro, of this and that and whatnot. So we started to do the process. We started in 2010. And the first time we did it, we had just one resistant. Today, by finding what chose resistant, we're getting a little more. And I don't consider myself to be an attorney on taro breeding, but just using the grace and gifts that within me that everybody else get to. Just remind me that and use my passion. And so I started to just do this process. And the thing is, we're always looking at the Hawaiian ones because the Hawaiian ones is good taste and very good qualities. And then looking at the Palauans and South Pacific taros, which have some resistance. And Mike just went over the whole thing with you guys of how we got this and how we got that. So basically, I just want to give you guys some hands-on on what we have here, so you guys can see that. So basically, we start with the flowers over here, and over here I have different stages of flowers. And as soon as the flower emerges, it looks like this, yeah. And then after about 3 days, it kind of looks more like this. Then as the thing goes on, it looks like this. And this stage here is what we call the crack stage. Just started to crack open. I'm going to pass this flower around. You guys can take a smell of it. I think it's the sweetest smelling flower I've ever smelled. You know, and at this stage here is when the flower is able to be pollinated, and only at this stage. And you have a window of opportunity within just a few hours. And as the thing matures, the flower is going to, actually for a female flower, it's going to start to open a little bit more. And as it opens up, then the thing is going to start to shed pollen at this stage here. So you can see some pollen will be shedding in here. So in a matter of 24 hours, it goes from this stage here, from the crack stage, to when it produces the pollen. So the plant itself cannot fertilize itself. So I'm going to pass this flower around. You guys can just pass it around.
Why is that you cannot pollinate better?
Because the pollen will be older. Yeah. So as the thing will constrict, will become small. So then the female flower partner will be exposed to the male. So that's why it's, the timing on breeding is real critical. You have a certain time to pollinate. And I'll get some pollen.
Can the pollen be, can you grab a pollen explorer for later? The pollen explorer.
Yes, the pollen will let it. Yeah. So in that stage, it kind of look like baby powder. So what I usually do is I take the pollen like this, I collect it from the plant, and when the plant is that stage, I just kind of put the pollen in there, and you just kind of hit them around. So the pollen is yellow.
This is the pollen, yellow.
And when the plant reaches this stage, the thing just went over, so the pollen isn't viable anymore. So it's a short window, you have only like 1 day actually to cross. So you have to have a plant on the male side that is ready, as well as a plant on the female side that is ready.
So you have like two, 3 flowers per.
Yeah. So if you want to, you need 2 different flowers at different times on different plants to make your hybrid process. And after the thing is pollinated, we call this the seed capsule. And it takes about a month for the seeds to develop. If it looks like this after 2 weeks, that means that the thing didn't pollinate. So either your timing was off, and sometimes we do find pollen that is sterile, and it won't take. So the thing just could drop and die. And if it did take, it kind of look like this. And like anything that is fertile, it will start swelling and coming big. And after 1 month, the plant, when the seed is ready, the thing will start to drop and die. And at this time, you will collect the seed. So this is one that I just did.
Like what stage do you just put this guys on top of?
It's just to protect it from other things. As you can see, this is a big, this has, you see, each cell in here, and there's many cells, contains 1 to 35 seeds. Each cell. So when you clean up something like this stuff, the pollination was really good. So we have a lot of seeds. So you can get anywhere from a few hundred to even 1,000. Yeah. Yeah. So you see each cell now contains, usually not only 1, I've seen 5 to as many as almost 23 in each cell. And you have like, I don't know, maybe over 100 cells or whatever. So basically, I take that there and I kind of clean them and I separate the seeds from the rubbish. And the seeds are real tiny, like Mike will show you. The seeds are, it's almost like a pepper seed. I mean, like a pepper itself. So they're very tiny, hard to see. So at this stage, we take the seed, and I just take some potting media like this, and I just sprinkle the seed right on top. I don't put it in any depth or what. I just leave it go on the surface. I just water the seeds, and then within the seeds will germinate between. The seeds will germinate between 7 and 14 days. And this is what the thing looks like, baby taro. It's amazing, I mean. And when we first started, because I really didn't know how to perfect this, every little seed would drop with me. And the thing is, on the table we had, no table, there's some termites over there, so. The termite seed, the one they dropped was kind of like, it may come up, so you got me the wrong thing. But you see, so they're tiny. And after they come up, I leave it in there till they're just about 3 weeks old. And from there, I'm with a tweezer, and I take each one out, and I place it in the cells that you see like this. Other people do different ways, and they just put them out in a flask and let them grow big. But I decided to just take one out individual so that I can have more plants for more selections. And yeah, I needed glasses now at that time before. But they're so tiny, it's like, but I take each one, I put them out in each cell, and I grow them in pots for about another.
So is it at that point that you give them a number?
Yeah, so what I do is each one is going to have a number, the same way we have a social security number. It's an ID, and that ID will stay with them forever. So whether we discard it or not, that number will be the same. So after I plant it, I put it in cells, and it stays this big now. That's the same ones now that came up. Then these cells, these trays, and they stay here for about a month and a half.
Month old. Popo.
Yeah.
A month old from that.
Yeah, about a month and a half. And from there, you place it in these pots here. So we take that and put them in here. This right here is 3 months old. Okay. And this is one of our hybrids. As you can see, this pet has a number. His number is 6345. So this number here will stay with him forever until we discard it or until we keep him.
So you name them Hawaiian, alright?
So now, that is 3 months. This is 6 months. And this is a little over 6 months, 7 months. So at 6 months of age, that's when we usually take them and plant them in the field. And then we start selecting. And what we're looking for is, number one, disease resistance. Number two, corn shape and size. And we're looking for color. We're looking for processing and how long the shelf life of the taro, because we know some point in just overnight and it's sour. So we're looking for different things. And as far as color go, I don't know, Jerry, maybe you can help me with this when the color came about when people wanted purple taro. Because I can remember when I was in any kind of color, never mattered. And so the thing is, everybody likes purple, so one of the things we're going for is purple. But the thing is, we get some good ones that are beige, some good ones that are almost white. So I was trying to invite guys and stuff, maybe easy, instead of beautiful purple, just agitate the people to white and brown. Whereas before was better, we used to use whatever color, never mattered. So, yes.
But yeah, it still is. In fact, in Samoa, university made some really great hybrids, took it down for the farmers to grow. One generation they went back, was all gone. And they said, how come they're farmers, lovely farmers or what? And they said, no, the Ari'i didn't like the color or the flavor.
Yeah.
So they didn't grow it. So marketing is very important in that sense.
Yeah.
We have food, mahal.
Yeah. So on that part, yeah, but there's still people who prefer sweet taro, they prefer purple. So because this is going across the industry, we kind of was looking at the taro being like that. Yeah. And really, I think it's easier for me, for the breeder to educate the people like that and Kalo. Because sometimes you go to one luau and you see a thing, nice and purple, and then that sweet potato. You know, I mean, it's like, wow, it's going to hey, you know, when you see the adding the color that way, and we breeding towards the color. And I find that by selection, we can kind of get the color that we like. And then, of course, the size. But basically, we look at is the taro that we pick, the structure looks like the Hawaiian taro, and that's the main part. I'm going to leave this over here, and after the class, feel free to come and take a look at it after. And if you guys get any other questions, then I can work with you guys one-on-one.
Oh.
So basically, we're looking at the structure, we select the taro plants, because with the Palauans and stuff, they tend to get runners, like Mike said, and certain varieties from Papua New Guinea, they come what we call bunch. And I just give them my own name, I call them the bees, because they just stick out on the marakwam like that, and it's an undesirable trait. So the trait we're going for is one mother plant with 5 to 7 kikis around it, the original Hawaiians. And to me, it's one of the beautiful parts that we have it now. We have taro that is resistant, we have taro that get color, we have taro that get taste, but then when you look at the setup, it's just not there, you know, like what we like. So sometimes we get taro that is opposite, but no more the color. We get some that no more runners, we're not resistant. So, you know, we try to get something that go getting something resistant. And when somebody, I think you brought up a question about the thing, resistant, how much Patafter is out there. So what I do, when we sit down and breathe, I kind of gotta think like, okay, what this mother do, what this parent do. And we try to put different sources of resistance into the plant. So say one from Papua New Guinea, one from Palau that resisted into Hawaii. And that way, if one strain of the factor or disease gets to one, it can override with the next two, so the next two resistant ones. So that, like the question was, will we ever get that? I think by practice and by breeding, we can get something more. We're not going to see the disease too much. But as a whole, as far as the disease, we're going to get the disease. And the disease come in as fast as UPS and FedEx can bring in mail. Because that's how fast things come in nowadays. And insects and different stuff come in that way, that fast too. So it's just trying to develop something. And at one time, he was trying to focus on things for us of Hawaii, like Uncle was saying, the reason why he was kind of doing this, like, no, kind of eat a little bit better, yeah? So we try to use that taro because we know how valuable taro is as a food source. And when I was doing this, it's like us Hawaiians, we tend to like our taro a little bit more soft, and like the Palauans tend to like theirs a little bit more hard and flaky because we make poi. So the focus over here was on poi. So some of the things that we selected for is more for poi, but also kept some different varieties that we can use for the South Pacific. So it's not only for us, but it's for everybody because taro is spread throughout the world, yeah? And everybody eat taro. So then, you know, one day we can feed everybody with that taro. And that way we'll always have a source of food. And the thing is, we're always trying to develop, like I said, the nicest size corn, the biggest size corn, and the shorter length of time that we can get. And you know, like, is it easy? Not easy. We just go through all this whole thing. But we get in there with some of the varieties that we get. Like for now, some of the commercial varieties, one is the Maui Lehua, and that's something that we use to gauge ourselves as to how better these crosses are. And one of the crosses that we did, the 25s, there's a lot of them that is comparable right now with the Maui Lehua. As far as color, you cannot tell the difference. The taste is getting there. So we're working on that, and we try to expand what we can get out of people to try to taro. And one of the things that Dr. Chitako was saying was about the hybrids, yeah? And one of the stipulations that I kind of made when I did this project was the release of these hybrids going out. Because at one time, they're making hybrids and the thing was just going out. And with no control over that. And it wasn't good, a lot of them. And one of the things we also breed for is non-itchy. Because you know, like one time, I don't care how good the thing itchy, little back scratching, you know, like that. So the thing is, I made a stipulation that none of the hybrids should go out until it's developed to what we like and what the consumer, the public wants. And also, that the taro never be sold. You know, that every woman that we get is to be given. Freely we receive, so freely we give. So, you know, at times there's this thing about selling the woolies, this and that. It's not, you know, although it's research and this and that is one thing. So, you know, I really have to think about this kind of things, you know, because of, like I said, the stance we take as far as being Hawaii to do that, you know. But then also see the scientific part. We're going to do nothing. We get a chance of, you know, getting less and less varieties. So we can see from 300 varieties down to 150, he said 73 here now. And I know myself, I keep one about Hawaiian taro varieties that we can get. And I get like 60 something, and I'm looking for like 3 different ones. And how many more out there? We used to have a fruit collection out in Kauai, and the collection is there no more. You know, we don't have the fruit collection out there. And also in Molokai, the collection is not there. So who else got them, like Jerry guys, this and that. So I think it's important for us to keep our Hawaiian varieties. And that's one of the things that...
Can you explain from your perspective as a Hawaiian Kanaka, what the taro means, and maybe hopefully Jerry can, and Francis can tell me, or anybody, as to what we believe in. Because right now, the only way I know taro is through times farming, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we don't grow it, you know, and so we just eat it. So.
Like for me, on that aspect, taro was always around us, whether we had them in the backyard or not. But then it was a passion for me to work with taro and eventually to breed taro. And I feel because it's a food, a staple food of the Hawaiians, and the value that it has, that we will continue to grow this and even eat that. We tend to shine that off and eat other things, or whatever. But, you know, yeah, for me, it's just going back to the basic food source that we have. And I think, you know, it has it's a big potential because taro is like all over the world. I mean, even in Africa and all over this and that. So, yeah. So, you know, you guys get another question, you guys can see me one-on-one, and like I was sharing with Jerry right before this, I think we can make it work if we have resistant varieties, as well as a farming practice of how we used to do it before. Give the plants more space so they can breathe with more of these diseases coming in and whatnot. You know, so I think we can work on out, we can do both. Everybody can benefit from this. And another thing with the crosses is because the wild taro, they tend to show the undesirable characteristics. We always get that in the breeding program. So you always see runners, you see ichi, you see different stuff. So we're always adding Hawaiians into them. But then I don't add just any Hawaiian. I try to add Hawaiian varieties that have medicinal value in them. And also stuff that is drought resistant and stuff. So we can work towards that. So like I say, that's all I have to say. There's no question. You just can come see me. You just can come take a look at what we have over here. And it's basically what we're doing now. You know, and I don't mean to ruffle anybody's feathers on what we're doing over here. But we just trying to, for me, like I said, when I see them moving, and there are none, you know, what happened with our race. And you know, the thing is, when you look at us, our mix over here, the Hawaiian, Filipino, Portuguese, you know, and we all mix up over here with Hawaii. And you know, even like that taro, you know, the Hawaiian, they can get a little bit Palau, they can get a little bit Chinese inside. But, you know, we can make them work this and that. And for me, I always like to see our Hawaiian taro just be preserved like how it is. And that's what I was working with my Shitaku guys. That's one of the things, to put genetic markers on Hawaiian taro, so we always know that this is Hawaii. No matter what the process of hybrids are, that this is Hawaii. And for me personally, I just like to say that, I think we own this as Hawaiians, our 60-something or 73 varieties, ours, and as ours for the people here, us. Because, you go on eBay, start to sell all these different taros, this and that. And then the guy come, oh, you know what, I found this taro, nice vibrant taro in Hawaii, and they sell them for $5. And that's one, ura ura kumu. You know what I mean? So it's like, it needs something that is ours, and then it's ours, but for me personally, even though all these crosses and hybrids, I always like to see the Hawaiians. That's all I have. Thank you.